This is KoreaScape on TBS EFM 101.3 megahertz in Seoul and surrounding areas. The weekend is palpably close now, and I hope you have 2 nice full days of leisure and relaxation ahead of you. A lot of us get to thinking of road trips and travel at this point in the week. It seems like a tempting prospect. So we decided to start up a new segment here called Talking Tourism with self-avowed professional tourist Jimin Yoon. She'll be joining us every Friday to talk about the nuts and bolts of travel and what's new, especially in Korean tourism. Hi, Jimin.
Hello.
Great to have you here. We've had you on the show before, but now we've got you in a more regular kind of fashion. Now, when I hear the title professional tourist, my first reaction is envy. I want to be a professional tourist. So how did you come upon that particular title for yourself?
Yeah, well, I got interested in tourism because I love to travel. But people usually think a traveler being very free-spirited and romantic, while a tourist being kind of superficial. So professional does not really go well with a tourist.
Tourist by itself is almost like kind of an insult. Oh, you're just a tourist here. You don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah, but however, I decided to call myself a professional tourist, which means a person who travels to understand being a tourist and to know more about tourism. Like when you think of travel, tourism does not easily pop up in your head, but because tourism sounds more towards industry or economy.
Sure.
Yeah, but when you think about a tourist, it's easier to think of tourism. And I believe tourism is an issue that everyone can relate themselves to.
Sure.
So I wanted to talk about tourism with this kind of catchy but ironic title.
Okay, you've obviously given it a lot of thought, calling yourself a professional tourist, and all of us have found ourselves in the role of a tourist at one point or another. So, in the guise of the professional tourist, what do you actually do?
I do a lot of public talks and lectures on travel and tourism, mostly for local government officials or students. And I do host many seminars and conferences for people who are working in the field of tourism to come and talk about various issues. And I do some consulting jobs and run education programs. And I recently started a YouTube channel to make videos on travel and tourism. So
go ahead, you can plug it. YouTube.com/what?
You can just type in Jimin Yoon, my name, and you'll find my channel.
And there's your channel. Yes. And you're talking in both languages, Korean and English?
Yeah, I do have. I do have both videos.
Both,
in English
okay.
and Korean. Yes.
All right, so you're basically a hired gun for all of these different governments and government departments and universities and whoever else that has an interest in the professional side of travel and tourism. What do you think of I Solo You, by the way? No comment?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about in this particular installment?
As today is the first day, I would like to talk about how much tourism is important in our daily life.
Good. All right, so what background do you bring to that?
I'll tell you a little story to start. I used to work at the Seoul Metropolitan Government for Hallyu tourism. And what I did was to kind of excavate the hidden spots for Hallyu fans and make them as a tour route.
Hallyu, just in case you got off the plane, the Korean wave, so things like K-dramas, K-pop, these are the kind of tours where people get on a bus and go to where such and such drama was filmed. And
yes.
Right, okay.
So I made a lot of tour routes, and I made a guidebook. And that job was very interesting. I really enjoyed my job, but there was this episode for me to quit my job and start traveling around the world.
We've all had those episodes. I understand. I can relate. Okay, so you got the travel bug. You just wanted to take off and travel.
Yes.
So,
well, I love to go to Myeongdong to buy cosmetics.
Okay.
And because they have a lot of brands concentrated on one street.
Exactly.
So I went there when I was working at the city government. I just went there to buy something. And I went into the store and I wanted to ask some questions to a sales lady. So I asked, and the thing is, she couldn't not respond because she couldn't speak Korean. She was she was a Chinese sales lady who was hired to serve Chinese customers.
It has come full circle over there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like a little street in China.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was still okay. But when I was paying, the cashier was also Chinese, and she gave more free samples to Chinese customers than me.
Oh no, she didn't.
She did. So, well, like free samples are very important for girls.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so as I come out of the store, I had a thought that although I work really hard for tourists to come to Seoul at my work as a civil servant, but how come I, as a citizen of Seoul, experience such inconveniences because of the tourists? So that kind of question came up, and I had a question that what is the real tourism that's going on in the real world, not the one that I talk about on paper, in the cubicle.
All right, so you wanted to get sort of a man on the street's eye view of the real nitty-gritty tourism and then be able to relay that back. Experiences like, hey, just because I'm Korean, I shouldn't be shortchanged on the samples and things like that.
Yeah, I thought I need to learn more about how tourism is changing people's daily life. So I decided to quit my job and started traveling I did travel for 260 days.
Oh my goodness. Domestically mostly, right? Or did you go abroad?
Abroad.
Abroad also.
I traveled
wow.
to 19 countries
Oh my
and
God.
met with more than 150 tourism professionals and did a lot of interviews.
Did you blog all this stuff, or are you just now starting with the YouTube channel?
I did some blog on my website,
Okay.
and yeah, I did a lot of SNS, like social network service.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, your website is also your name?
Yeah, jiminyun.com.
All right. So what's important for people to know about tourism?
Well, from my travel, I did learn that tourism is so close to our daily life that we cannot even notice it. That is why everyone should recognize how much tourism is changing their life and how much you're changing other people's life as you travel to different communities.
That's philosophical. All right, so unpack that a little bit.
Well, I'll just tell another little story
Sure.
to for you to understand more easily about this concept.
Sure.
Well, do you know the soap drama 별에서 온 그대? It's My Love from the Star.
Yeah, I know of it. I don't watch it, but I know that's the one with Jun Ji-hyun, and she's in love with an alien.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Alien. Yeah,
And
that
it's
was
huge,
a
yeah.
global hit. And in many episodes of the drama, there were quite many scenes of Chun Song-lee starring Jun Ji-hyun having chimek, chicken and beer. And after the drama was on aired in China, a lot of Chinese tourists are coming to Korea for chimek. And although chimek is a very ordinary experience for Koreans, and you can do everywhere in Seoul and even in Korea.
And even in China, I would think.
Yeah.
Don't they have chimek over there?
I think they do, but a lot of Chinese tourists, especially, they come to Seoul for chimek
Okay.
and go to the one in Sinchon. It was observed. And so my friend who was working in tourism, he tried to find out why all those Chinese tourists go to the one in Sinchon, and found out that the place got popular on the social network service, which Chinese people
Sure.
use the most.
Yeah, like
So
the Chinese equivalent of Twitter.
So they need to take a photo in front of that specific chicken place to get more likes on online.
Look at me,
So,
I'm just like the K-drama.
yeah.
Do you know that other show, Descendants from the Sun or something?
Oh yeah, that's a big hit right now.
That's a huge hit in China, and the government even warned against, watching too much of it because, you're going to do too much plastic surgery and all of those naughty Korean things.
Well, yeah, what I learned from this story is that, well, tourism can make you to be part of the global community, although you're just doing what you usually do. Like that specific chicken place had expanded their customers from a small number of Koreans who are around the area to a massive number of tourists coming from the different places of the world. So
Yeah, and they didn't have to do anything particularly. They just had to be there, and it's the drama. So when Korean officials say, we're going to push this Hallyu and stimulate the economy, it has some basis in reality, doesn't it? The cosmetics, the chimek, everything.
So it's so natural to see foreign tourists around these days. Like the low-cost airlines and free Wi-Fi everywhere had made people to travel more and easier. So I think that is why everyone needs to notice how tourism is changing our daily life and think about how you can use tourism to bring positive changes.
Yeah. The government is expected to roll out free Wi-Fi in Seoul by, 2018 or something like that, everywhere. And a lot of Koreans said, well, I don't need that. I've got my plan and I've got this and that. Well, it's not for you. It's for all the Chinese visitors and these people that don't necessarily have a Korean phone. Okay, so there are so many reasons tourism is important for Korea. It's like, the economy is sluggish, and so it's seen as a new growth engine in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, like Korea is a small country, and we're like an island. We do not have any land access to other countries. So in terms of tourism, there are a lot to do in Korea, I think. Most of infrastructure and attractions are only concentrated in Seoul area or maybe Jeju.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we do have a lot to improve, and it is our job to discover such little charms in the local area and make them accessible to more people coming from different countries.
It's interesting. I think we might have talked about this before on a previous edition of this show, but so often the government wants to present this kind of cultivated idea of Korea. Okay, try on your hanbok and pose in front of this and play the kayagum, and that's great. That's sort of a classical experience. But there's so much that I think Koreans, just because it's so familiar, take for granted, like in terms of the food and all of the little details of Korean life that I think people would appreciate. So.
Yeah, like as you said, what I want to do is to make more people to easily talk about tourism, just like travel. If we talk about our travel experiences relating to tourism, those can immediately be transformed to great ideas for tourism policy or marketing or services to welcome more tourists to come to Korea.
I think you have a book in the making. Are you starting to scribble down notes for a book?
My book will be coming out this June.
Oh my God, you're ahead of me. Do you have a working title?
Not yet decided.
Not yet.
Yeah.
So this is a book all about how Korea can spiff up its tourism image and that kind of thing?
It's more about my travel.
Okay.
Like I did like a world travel to know more about tourism and how can I relate that to Korean tourism.
Very cool. All right. Well, this is the start of something good, I think, Jimin. We're going to be meeting at this time every week, and we're going to talk about all kinds of different themes related to tourism and how to better enjoy your own tourism and how Korea can maybe improve its own tourism business. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Talking Tourism and Koreascape returns right after this.
Thank you.
That was fun. Was it okay for you?
Yeah.